Innovation often gets sort of negative recall in terms of what people mean, why it's relevant, etc. So innovation here is maybe very simply something new of value. It's not something new that doesn't work. It's something new that provides value. And what is that? And I think I'm an optimist by nature. I think there's a lot of innovation in the water sector. There may be an issue of scaling things, but there's certainly a lot of new ideas out there. And we need new ideas. The sort of challenges we face as we go forward are getting significantly more complex and larger. And so we need innovation. If there's a better word, let's call it something else than innovation, because that seems to have a physical recoil for some people. But we need new things of value to move forward to get to water security at scale. I think there's different dimensions of that in terms of infrastructure and technologies that come through. And as in the Kenya session, people don't like shiny new things by instinct. They have to create value. But there are approaches. IUCN has worked for a long time now as ecosystems, as natural infrastructure. What does that mean? How can that be mainstreamed? And that is an innovative approach. There are technologies that people use in terms of biosensors and nanotechnologies that are used with great effect in other sectors. And I think we should be open as a sector to think about those things. And then there's the sort of mobile systems. And as we've blogged on this week, there's a lot of hype and there's not necessarily a lot of practice out there. Does that mean we should ignore the mobile infrastructure that exists? Some of the ideas that are coming out of that, so from mobile payment systems, which have been very effective in Uganda for National Water Supply Company, in Tanzania, and in other places, I think we should consider and look until we have a better sense of what they offer. And there's monitoring platforms in different areas as well. Then I think, the big area for me personally is in terms of institutions, how you shift behavior, how you shift that to get better results. And again, I think there's good examples in utilities who are looking at this and having effect. It's the minority, but how could we learn from that? What can we scale up as we go forward? I think in irrigation, there are again areas there. And again, that may depend on your ideology and philosophy in terms of market-based approaches, but some of them are sort of moving things forward. And different sectors that engage with this space. So the mining industry, for one, often having a negative impact in some areas on water infrastructure, but also in countries like South Africa are providing improved water supply to communities. They're finding different ways of using infrastructure that cleans dirty, polluted water from mine sites, cleaning it before it goes back into river systems, supplying it to communities. And I think there's some, they're all case-based anecdotal evidence around that, but how do you look at that and make more of it? And then I think on the final areas, the investment side, there are areas that are coming up in terms of results-based finance. If you can provide the evidence base for that, I think there's a lot of finance out there that could be unlocked. Insurance schemes have been used in other sectors, and they, in terms of scale, the African Risk Capacity now works across multiple countries in Africa that shares drought risks. You have 8 African countries in Africa using this. It's starting to work at scale, so you pool risk at scale. And I think there's a lot of things that we can think about in that space. Not all of it would work, but I think we have to have an open mind and think about these things. And I'm delighted we have 3 brave speakers on the graveyard shift at the end of the afternoon as it gets dark to come up and talk about some initial ideas that they are willing to share. The first is Dr. Giulio Boccoletti, who's the Global Managing Director of the Nature Conservancy, who, with his group, has done a lot of interesting work in the space, particularly around water funds. And I'd like to invite Giulio to come up. Thank you.